Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thanksgiving is an interesting holiday where we give thanks to God, the Creator, all of the universe, whatever it might be. We gather with friends and family, and typically, and we celebrate Thanksgiving. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity, a perfect moment to share with you my meat story. So stay tuned because that story is coming up after a word from these sponsors. All right, and we're back. Here's what I realized that I don't have, many subscribers. So therefore, I don't have any sponsors. So that's why that was kind of weird and awkward. But so next time, if we can get some subscribers, then maybe next time we'll be able to have an actual, an actual advertiser. Just kidding. I love doing stuff like that. Okay, so let me share with you guys a little bit about my meat story. So right now, it's Thanksgiving 2025, and hours ago, I put a 15-pound brisket on the smoker, and it reminded me of a moment when a relationship led to a good piece of meat. So my wife and I were shopping, and she was shopping. I'll be more specific. She was shopping, and I have ADHD, so I was like, I'm bored. I'd been touching all of the cans and the boxes. For those of you that run your fingers along the boxes as you're walking down the aisles, like I do, because you need that texture. And so I said, I'm going to go talk to the butcher because I know that this market has a meat department, and I know that most likely there's a butcher. So I went to the meat department, and I said, I'd like to speak with your butcher. And so the butcher came out, and he did not disappoint. He had the bloody smock, whatever you call it. And he had the knife. He was cleaning on the rag, and he said, I'm the butcher. And I said, this is weird. I get it. This is weird. But why did you become a butcher? And it turns out this was crazy. Turns out that for this guy, he's the fourth generation butcher in his family. So for him, it was like a legacy thing, right? His dad was a butcher, his grandfather was a butcher, and his great grandfather was a butcher. And so now this man is a butcher at our local city market, Kroger grocery store. And for him, it is such a legacy for him. I mean, he's so proud to be a butcher. So I was genuine with him because I was bored. And I truly wanted to know, why are you a butcher? Like, what's the process to become a butcher? How do you do it? What's the schooling like? I had all these questions. And so we ended up speaking for about a good 7-9 minutes or so. Because I know it wasn't 5 minutes, but I know it wasn't 10. So obviously it had to be that weird time frame between 7 and 9 minutes. And so then I said, what's the deal with this brisket? Why is this brisket $115? And so he explained to me the brisket, where it comes from, why it is so priced so high, and how many people that brisket can feed. And so, but he looked at me and he goes, you know what? He goes, that brisket's been on the shelf for two or 3 days now. And if you ask me, that's 2 or 3 days too long. It's a beautiful piece of meat. And I said, it is. So we kind of gazed at the meat and how beautiful the meat was. So he took it back, came back, and he goes, all right. He goes, this is what I can do. He goes, this is the best I can do. He goes, I'm sorry, I can't do any better. But for this cut of meat that was $115, I was able to knock some money off of it, and so now it's $17. Does that interest you to buy this brisket for $17? And I said, dude, absolutely. So I go walking with this huge piece of brisket to my wife, who's buying, all of these, dollar items. And just because at that point we didn't have, a whole bunch of money, especially to splurge on a huge piece of brisket. And my wife looked at it and said, nope, nope. And I said, no, you don't understand. This is cheap meat. And so he showed her the price. Sure enough, it was $16, $17. And so we bought that piece of brisket. And I remember we froze it, and then we cooked it for my grandmother's, I think it was her 80th birthday. And we fed, oh my goodness, about 70, 75 people with that $17 piece of meat. So I share my meat story all the time when I talk about relationships and the importance of relationships. And if we're good at relationships, we will have a completely different lifestyle than those who are not good at relationships. It's an incredible thing. And so it's super important that we remember that if it's a skill, it's an important skill, that if we can manage ourselves in relationships, we will have doors open to us that don't exist for other people. And it's not because of who they know. It's not because of how much money they have. Again, I didn't have enough money to purchase that brisket, right? And in the end, we still were able to end up with that brisket because of our ability to do relationships. So if you do relationships well, you will have a totally different experience, and almost, I would say, a completely different lifestyle than those who struggle with relationships. So this is one of the main reasons why I got into the work I do, teaching, as a clinician, as a therapist, so I can teach relationship skills, so I can teach people how to be in relationships, because it is a skill, I promise you. And I'll get more into this, and I'll share a lot more information about relationships, and I'll share a lot more information about this moving forward, because relationships are skills based. They're not based on chance. They're not based on happenstance. They're based on skills. And if we have the skills, and again, I'm going to go more into this, much deeper into this on YouTube. If we have the skills, then we get to have any type of relationship we want. And we can even get very nice pieces of meat at a much reduced rate. So thank you very much, guys. I look forward to sharing more videos like this. Please like and subscribe to this video so you don't have to sit in that uncomfortable awkwardness of me just staring at the camera or looking around while I'm waiting for sponsors to appear. Thank you very much, guys. I look forward to talking with you soon. Goodbye. Happy Thanksgiving.